today we're going to talk about things that I think of when submitting to a gallery. First thing will be, how do I go about picking my photos? Now with me, whatever submission I'm putting in, call for entry, whatever it is, in particular we're going to talk about one that was out there that was portrait, but it was pertaining to mood. So I'm going to show you the one that got selected to be in this exhibition. So how do I go about picking my photos for a gallery? So out of probably hundreds or thousands of shots, depending on what the theme is for this particular gallery, I'll go in and look through my archive and see if I have anything that fits that. Like this one in particular was mood out of portrait photography, so I knew I had a lot of shots that were pretty decent, and I kind of had the idea, like, do I want to go ahead, go through the photos, find some shots, and then what I do is basically, I get all the ones I think look decent first, and that may be, a bunch of photos, maybe 100, something like that, or maybe more, maybe less. Then I'll go through and start, looking at the photos, looking at the sharpness, things like that, seeing what the photos say. Now, this photo in particular, there are some things in this photo, if you really pay attention, it'll take you a little bit on a journey. Now, this photo is called Innocence. As you can see, the look on her face is of innocence. A lot of times, us men out there think of, women when we see them and we want to talk to them, we think they're attractive. We only see like the innocent side. We don't really see a lot of the, maybe the bad things they're into and things like that. So with this photo, you can see if you look real close, her lipstick is a little bit over her lip line. And then you notice the flyaway hair and things like that. So you have that in here, those elements, but you have the head wrap, you have the gown and the gloves and all that stuff going on. So this is kind of an ode to those old vaudeville 1920s movies that you guys would see out there, old school. I don't know if you guys watched a lot of those, but a lot of them were black and white, so this is my color version of that. But I just wanted to show, like, even back then, like some of the movie stars, probably lived crazy lifestyles, going through a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And they're out there portraying an image, and this is basically what this photo is based on. Now, there are more photos. I do like to play with the colors, like to play with the shadows, all those good things to kind of, build a story in the photos. So that's one thing I make sure I look at when I'm picking photos. So like this next one right here is more of a lighter photo, because this one's a surprise kind of type moody shot. It's based off of being surprised. So this one's a little lighter. I may still play with, making it a little more shadowy, more dark, add a little more contrast, but I don't want to lose a lot of the elements of the photo, like, the highlights in the hair and things like that. But, this is still playing on that whole perception of mood and beauty and things like that. So, you just play with your photos, kind of figure out, what you're trying to say and things like that. And, that's how I go about starting to pick. Now, this photo is, a photo focused on a more lonely mood, so it's a little more darker, but still looks very nice. Also looks more of like a painting and things like that. As a kid, I love going to the museums. My mom introduced me to art museums because she used to model at the art museum in my hometown, which is where I'm at, Toledo. So this photo right here is a testament to, loneliness, that mood of being lonely, things like that. So made it a little darker, looks more like a painting. I loved going to the art museum as a kid and seeing all the great art out there, and I always thought that was the pinnacle of the art world, is being in an art museum for people for all over to come see. So this photo right here is more, in that dramatic, alone, moody style, still with the vaudeville type look. Red's my favorite color. Still got all the elements, the flyaways, the slightly smeared makeup, all that good stuff. So this photo right here is more of an elegance photo, aspiration type vibe. Got her looking up towards the light. If you look very close, you can see the catch light in both her eyes. She's hoping, dreaming, things like that. Those type of moods. A little less flyaways in this one, focus. A little less of a flyaway focus in this one. So, yeah, that's a shot. I'm still keeping it a little shadowy, a little moody, but she still pops out with the light. So, gotta keep that. This is more of a, how sometimes you feel attractive and things like that. A bit of seduction, things like that. That's this photo. Still, these photos aren't all finished. These are just, here to kind of show you, how I go about picking. So this photo, I still would play with it, see if I want to make it a little less highlighty, bring that highlight down and things like that in the photo. And, things, just kind of figure out where I want to go with it. This one, I want to keep that mood. This one is more of definitely a seductive shot. Her fancy in the dress, showing a little shape, things like that, and looking in her eyes like, I know you want me, I'm desirable. So that is the mood with this photo. And this is kind of what you do when you're picking out photos for a gallery. You're just kind of figuring out, what you want to say, what you want to convey in the photos. So, so you don't have to say much. People can look at the photos and let their mind wander and all those good things. So that is kind of the process I go with when I'm picking photos for a gallery. Now, another thing is, what type of galleries do I look at to submit to? Well, I like submitting to, more established, maybe been around for a long, good time. Galleries that focus on bringing actual museum curators out to judge these exhibitions, select photos, and put an exhibition on. That is my goal. I don't like playing around with like galleries that just are being ran by an artist. Not saying owner, I'm just saying like an artist maybe doing a fellowship there or something for a period of time. And a lot of times you get those, they put on shows and they want to put their buddies in, but when you actually put some work out there that's rivaling, you get hated on a lot of times. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, that is part of the game. That is just the art world. It's competitive. People aren't gonna want to put, most of the time when they're trying to get on, they don't want to put somebody's photos in there that is better than theirs. They'll pick, either lesser photos to make theirs look good if they're in the same show, or they'll sit there and, I'm not gonna put this in there, this is just too good, things like that. So, not saying that happens to me all the time, but I'm pretty sure, that happens out there. So the last thing is, what do I look for when choosing a submission for a gallery? So, like I said before, I like to make sure to look and see that somebody notable and credible over the exhibition submission, and also look at themes. If I don't have photos at the time that kind of cater to that theme, but I'm interested in putting in my bid, I'll actually shoot photos for that specifically to show whatever the focus is or the theme is for that exhibition. But most of the time I play around in different niches, and I like dibbling and dabbling. Now, I know a lot of people say niche down, niche down, niche down. And I don't believe the world is that dumb to think you only can do one thing. That's just me. may not be true for everybody, but that's just me. So I like, you know, spreading myself around in different genres, and a lot of times I can create an idea for another genre if I do that. So but I always say you got to be good at whatever you do, so I do put a lot of focus and discipline in whatever I'm jumping in, but I'm definitely not a photographer that is niche down. I shoot various things, nature, people, you know, if you can see it, I shoot it, probably. So, except weddings, I don't really do weddings. But anyway, so these are things I look for when choosing an exhibition. Look for a curator. Look for somebody notable that's from an art museum or somewhere like that in art space, that's heavy in the art space. I look for them to get in to these exhibitions. That's my whole focus. At the end of the day, I want to be in a museum somewhere, so that's what I focus on. This right here is not a, you know, definite do it my way type thing. This is you know, how I do things, and hopefully this will give you an idea of how to do things for yourself. So, and encourage you to actually, you know, submit to these exhibitions. It's not that bad. Yeah, so anyway, y'all have a good one, and y'all check me out in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all those great things. Hey, if you have something to say or have experience in this realm, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and let's have a conversation about it. So also, if you're interested to see any more videos, go ahead and check these boxes up here and check out these other videos. All right.